拜托了统考2024。
不懂就问，现在的中学生都听过未成年吗？
为成年HighSchool.my 是一个教育自媒体平台，从2020年开始至今，我们持续在 Instagram、YouTube、小红书、校园街访与讲述中
创作与分享中学生想听、想看、想聊的内容，
线上和线下传递学习知识、升学资讯、个人成长等。
我是 Dino 学长，也是未成年HighSchool.my 的联合创办人，毕业于马来亚大学媒体研究硕士，同样也是 AFM 周末开箱电台 DJ。
很高兴认识你，我们承诺会继续给你们带来更多优质内容，从中学到大学，
让未成年陪你成为一个更好的大人。OK， 还有一件事情哦，大家有没有发现这一个荧幕哦，很像老高的影片？哎，老师，我是老高，你是小莫吗？老师，我想问一下，今天呢，就是高中生备考，那这整段内容会讲什么？
主要会集中在 Paper 1的 Writing Essay，然后当然也会提一下今年的新的 format。Okay, now we will look at the first type, persuasive essay. Whenever you see that, do you agree? Or they use the sentence by starting with students should, parents should, government should. Okay, it means that these types of essay are persuasive essay. For example, women should not go to work. Do you agree? So in this condition, you will have to choose. Then the whole essay you write about agree or disagree. You cannot mix the ideas.
点击链接免费报名，拜托了！统考2024，一起参与全马第一 YouTube 统考备考节目，领取免费笔记、统考攻略影片，加入 Q&A 直播论坛之夜。
感谢本集拜托了统考2024的合作伙伴 Pearson Test of English PTE。11月4号就是读中统考考试的第一天了。那 Dino 学长温馨提醒全体的统考生们，考试期间记得带好证件，还有需要用到的文具，务必再三确认哦，不要空腹上考场，尽量避免吃辛辣类的食物，以防身体不适。那另外一定要保持睡眠充足，不要开夜车读书，这很有可能导致你因为太累而在考试中发挥失常哦。最后要平常心对待，对自己一定要有信心，认真作答每一道题目，寒窗苦读10几载，只为今日露锋芒。努力了这么久，就是为了这一次的统考考试，不努力到最后，绝不要放弃。祝所有的统考生们考试加油，冲啊！那不要忘记，记得在 IG 那边跟 Dino 学长或者是小助理们领取未成年专属送给你们的统考祈福壁纸哦！祝你考试顺利，读到的题目所有都在统考的考试里面一定会出。我是 Dino 学长，陪你一起成长，加油
！Hello， 你好，我是 Dino 学长，感谢你收看由未成年HighSchool.my 举办的拜托了统考2024，我们有高中英文的 Janice 老师 ，Hello。老师，我想问一下，今天呢，就是特别帮我们就是高中生备考，那这整段内容会讲什么？
主要会集中在 Paper 1的 Writing Essay。OK。然后当然也会提一下今年的新的 format。然后它会有reading part 有所改变。
OK， 就会 update 一下最新的 info 啦，给大家。OK， 那还有一件事情哦，大家有没有发现这一个荧幕哦？很像老高的影片。哎，老师，我是老高，你是小莫吗？你有在看？你有在看吗？
我没有很 follow， 但是
你没有 follow
是谁
？OK， 噔噔噔噔噔噔，我觉得后置可以加这个声音。好，来各位，那我们就把时间交给我们的 Janice 老师啦。
嗨，大家好。So 我今天就开始分享说我们的那个 English 的exam paper。So maybe we just start looking for this. Okay. In our paper 1, you have to pay attention that you will need to have essay writing 35 marks and summary 50 marks. For paper 2, then you will have critical reading. Oh, sorry, this one should be updated. Later I will tell you. Then we change to comprehension, vocabulary, error identification, and word formation. So you will have to be aware that you will need to answer for 2 papers in the morning. All right, until noon. So next, let's see our paper 1. Okay, for paper 1, essay writing. You will have to know that you will have 5 choices in your essay. The first type is persuasive writing, and the second type is discuss topic, and the third type will be expository. Okay, fourth type is causes and effects, and the last one is compare and contrast. Okay, so now we will see what are they. Okay, for mark allocation, we have 35 marks in paper 1. So for essay writing here, okay, then let you see how do we allocate the essay writing marks. Okay, for example, 15 marks for content. Content means that you must be able to answer to the question, give supporting ideas and related words, okay, that is included in the topic because it shows the sound knowledge of your understanding to the topic. Okay, then the second part is it's 8 marks, which is the organization. Okay, for organization, we include a few parts, which is quite important because some of the school teachers, they may not mention much. Okay, so the first paragraph is introduction. Then in your introduction paragraph, we will need to see the thesis statement in your last sentence. Okay, then body paragraph, we will need to have the formula like topic sentence in the first sentence, supporting ideas in the middle, and also short conclusion in the last sentence for body paragraph. And in your last paragraph, it should be the concluding paragraph. So if you complete all this mission, okay, complete all these tasks, show the organization. So the highest mark you can score is around 6 marks. Okay, then the next is the language part. Language part stands for 12 marks. They will judge whether you use the tenses correctly, whether you show impressive proverbs, phrasal verbs, quotes, or do you change different variety of vocabulary. Okay, so sentence structure is also part of the judgment. All right, okay. Altogether, we have 5 types of essays. All right, okay, now we will look at the first type, persuasive essay. What is considered as persuasive essay? Whenever you see that they ask the question, do you agree? Or they use the sentence by starting with students should, parents should, government should. Okay, it means that these types of essay are persuasive essay, persuasive writing. Okay, then for example, okay, let's see what kind of question they ask about the persuasive. Women should not go to work. Do you agree? Okay, so in this condition, you will have to choose. When they ask you, do you agree? You must choose either agree or disagree. Then the whole essay you write about agree or disagree. You cannot mix the ideas. All right. So you can say, I agree, but no such thing. Okay, and the marks will be deducted. So whenever you see this kind of essay topic, it's better to answer directly. If I agree, then 100% you write agree. Or you disagree, then you better 100% to write disagree. Okay, second type of model question. Students should participate in extracurricular activities. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So in this kind of condition, how are you going to answer? To what extent? That means that you can mention a little bit of different ideas, but not like do you agree? Do you agree is 100%. You will have to stick to what you show. Okay, but to what extent do you agree or disagree this one? You can mention about 10% to 20% about different ideas, but 80% still have to stick to whether you agree or disagree. All right, okay. And then next, the second type of topic is discuss. All right, okay. So I forgot to mention one thing. In persuasive essay writing, you will have to write for 5 paragraphs. How many paragraphs written is considered as our organization marks. So you must be very clear on how many paragraphs you will need to write. So for persuasive essay, 1 introduction, last is the concluding paragraph. So in between body paragraph, you will need to have 3 points. So in this condition, then you will have to write a three body paragraph. For example, we mentioned about something like pollution. Okay, then maybe you will have to give 3 ideas on what should be the pollution or ways to eliminate the pollution. Okay. So that's why come to second type of topic, discuss. You will need to have 5 paragraphs as well. Okay. 5 paragraph means body paragraph. You will need to write 3. You need to have 3 different ideas. So let's take a look of the model question. Technology has dramatically changed our life. Discuss the changes you have seen. Okay, so this is to discuss what do you see, how technology has changed our life. All right, so maybe you can mention about what are the changes they have brought. Okay, for example, to transportation. Okay, then you can discuss about education. You can also discuss about the lifestyle. All right, so you will see that in between you will need 3 ideas to complete the 5 paragraphs for discuss. Okay, another example question is procrastination. Discuss it. Okay, procrastination. This question actually is one of the passive question. That time when they ask us about this question, many students, they are unable to answer. The main problem is they don't know what is the meaning of procrastination. Okay, so actually this word you learn it in your textbook, UCSCAM textbook, right? And in the textbook, there is one chapter they talk about this. Procrastination means you keep delaying, okay? Keep postpone the things that you want to do. So this is a very hot topic, hot issue discussed around the world, okay? So it's better to know what is the meaning for this and what kind of thing we can talk about it. All right, maybe about work, about discipline, in your study, and also the attitude. All right, okay. So this is the second type. You will need to have 5 paragraphs. Okay, the third type, expository. Okay, the expository essay writing, we will need to have 5 paragraphs. You will need to write for 5 paragraphs. First example, what is considered as expository? It is ways of effective communication. All right, whenever they ask about ways, okay, then it's time for you to show the methods. Sometimes they are going to test your vocabulary level. They don't use the simple word of ways, but they use approaches, they use methods. All right, okay. So there are a few ways to ask ways. That's why you must be aware of the different changes of the vocabulary. All right. The next, how to reduce road accidents. For road accident, how to. Okay, the main point is on how to. They are asking about the steps. Okay, in what kind of steps can be taken to solve the problem. So they like to ask the question about how to solve Okay, and the third type of the model question is suggestion and recommendation. All right, it is also included in expository. So for suggestion and recommendation, they will ask you what kind of solution, what kind of ways that we can use it or we can solve the problem. This is quite, I think almost every year they ask about this question, and this is a topic which students score easily, okay, because it's related to your daily life, and it's not really challenging, but close to your life. So it's something about your general knowledge, okay? Expository. So if you see expository essay, we actually encourage students to really select this kind of topic, okay? And the fourth type is asking problems and solutions, okay? So these are the 4 examples of expository writing. Okay, next. In type 4, it is about causes and effects. As you can see, when we mention about type 1, persuasive, type 2, discuss, type 3, expository, you only need to write 5 paragraphs. Then come to type 4, causes and effects. Why do you need to write 6 paragraphs? Because they are asking 2 questions. Okay, they are asking 2 questions. What are the causes and what are the effects? So usually when they ask in this way, you will have to write 2 causes and 2 effects in order to match the word S. Okay, causes and effects. So now, for example, causes, if they ask only 1 question, they ask causes of pollution, then you only need to write 5 paragraphs. This is about your organization. So it's quite significant for you all to be aware of the difference, how many paragraphs you will need to write. Okay, so causes of pollution, they only ask 1 question. You have to give 3 ideas in the body paragraph. Okay, but if they ask causes and effects, means you need to give 2 causes and 2 effects in 4 paragraphs. Okay, 1 cause, 1 paragraph, 1 effect, also 1 paragraph. Then for okay, let's see. This is the one. What are the effects of natural disasters? They are also asking only 1 question. All right. So that means that you need to give 3 effects of natural disasters here. The total paragraph you will need to write is 5 paragraphs. Okay. Yeah. So this is about causes and effects. When you choose to answer 2 questions, that means you will need to write 6 paragraphs. You will have to be very careful about the time allocation, because when others, they have to focus on 5 paragraphs, you will need to write 6. You will need to write fast and accurate, to the point, straight to the point. Okay. For type 5, compare and contrast. Okay, for compare and contrast, you will need to write 5 paragraphs. They are asking about 2 questions, but actually, we will look at it. I will show you how to arrange your paragraph for this. For example, in the past year question, they have this model question, compare Malaysia and Singapore. When they ask you to compare, you remember when we talk about compare and contrast, we are talking about the similarities and also the differences. Okay, we are not talking about the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so as you can see, if we say compare Malaysia and Singapore, that means that you have to talk about the similarity. Okay, the similarity will be, let's say, the similarity will be, for example, like culture, okay, history, and maybe the races. Okay, so these are the similarities of Malaysia and Singapore. But if we want to ask the question contrast, then you will have to show the differences of Malaysia and Singapore. Compare and contrast Singapore and Malaysia. Then you have to talk about the similarities and the differences. But how are we going to arrange this? So for compare, usually we suggest students to write in one paragraph. Okay. Then you can talk a few, you can mention about a few points, which is like what I mentioned, the culture, festivals, races, okay, history in one paragraph. Very simple introduction. Okay. Then when come to differences, when come to contrast, then we suggest you to write one difference in one paragraph. So the second difference will be in another paragraph. Okay. This is the suggestion for the arrangement. That's why you don't have to write 6 paragraphs in compare and contrast, although they are asking 2 questions. Okay. If possible, we don't really suggest you to write compare and contrast because many of the students will unconsciously write into advantages and disadvantages. Okay. Next. Okay. For scoring tips. For scoring tips, as you can see here, the contents, we will need to see whether you have a direct writing or you beat around the bush. Okay, it really shows a different effect. So if you write it very direct, then we can catch the point. It will be helpful to score high. Okay, then the second point is sufficient examples and supporting ideas. That means that in between, okay, we say in the body paragraph, you need to write how many sentences. Actually, we suggest students to write each body paragraph with 5 to 7 sentences. So first sentence will be topic sentence and the last sentence will be concluding sentence. So in between, you will need to have around 5 sentences to write examples, okay, in order to support your ideas and show well understanding to the topic. That means that if you understand the topic well, then you are able to give very solid and accurate example to make people understand your stand. All right, okay. Then next, how about the scoring tips? Okay, let's talk about the scoring tips for organization. Okay, like what I have shown you all just now, I brief you. For introduction, you will need to have a last sentence as thesis statement. Thesis statement is your, how to say? Thesis statement is your 整篇文章的中心思想. Yeah, the thesis statement, the main idea of the whole essay. That means that by reading your thesis statement, then I will know what are you going to elaborate about. Okay? Then for body paragraphs, yeah, these are the things that I keep telling you. If you can do it well, actually for 8 marks, full marks, usually students can score around highest can go to 6. Okay, so for this condition, then you can see the first sentence must be topic sentence. Okay, second sentence to the 5th sentence should be supporting ideas. Supporting ideas means that you give examples. Okay, last sentence should be similar or can be almost the same as the first sentence. Okay, because they have to be consistent to each other. 就是你的第一句和你的最后一句它要一致，所以你的第一句你就要用OK 我们讲的 main idea 了，然后你的最后一句就要再重复你的第一句讲的话。要是你有能力 OK 你能够换句子把它位置调一调it will show the different sentence structure. OK 在句子结构上你就可以得到比较好的分数。But 如果你真的没有办法把句子变得不一样 is okay. OK 最安全就是先拿到分数。So you will need to make it the same sentence. 你把第一句在最后一句再重新写一遍 is okay. It's just that the connectors you use for the last sentence will be different. 通常在最后一句做小结语的时候，我们会建议学生用 thus, therefore, henceforth, as a result, okay, 来做一个小总结。这些 connectors will be very helpful to you, to your writing, okay, and especially for example, like in also IELTS, okay, they actually require to have this kind of connectors a lot. Okay, if you are able to use this, then you are able to score high. Okay, all right. Then next, conclusion. Conclusion is your last paragraph for the whole essay， 就是你一整篇文章的最后一段，然后是总结。所以你的这个总结，你注意看一下，我们就会和第一段的 introduction 不一样。我们第一段的 introduction 不一样，是因为它的 thesis statement 整篇中心思想的整句重点是在这个 last sentence 第一段的 last sentence，OK？But 在 conclusion 的时候，整段的重点是在 first sentence。So 你的其实我们一直要呼应嘛，所以他们会有 thesis statement 和conclusion 的这个sentence 会要 match together。So that's why 这个 thesis statement 你可以在这边再用多一次 for conclusion。OK？然后你把它放在 conclusion 的 first sentence. So first sentence, before you copy the sentence, you remember for concluding paragraph, 我们的 connectors usually is like in a nutshell, all in all, to end the writing. Okay? So you can use this kind of connector to show that, okay, 我已经要结束了，我现在就要表示我已经把整篇要写完了，所以这是我的 concluding paragraph， 所以你就可以用这些 connectors 这些连接词 ，OK， 来让大家知道 ，OK， 你看他们看到最后一段了。This is really extraordinarily important to the examiner because 对我们 examiner 来说，我们要看一直要翻那个页 ，so actually 如果有这些 connectors 会很好的告诉我们 ，OK， 我们到哪里，然后再回想一下你的 writing. Then when we give the marks, it will be more helpful. Okay? So next, 再来 for language 的 scoring tips. Okay? 当然，它的 language 的话，they focus on the vocabulary, variety of vocabulary. 你有没有能力用不同的 vocabulary 来显示你的 vocabulary power?For example, 我们讲简单的 important 就好。如果你只是用 important， 你的 level 只是 basic. If you are able to change it to, 你可以有那个能力，一开始就用很 bombastic 的一些字 ，OK? For example, like indispensable, OK? Irreplaceable, 或者是 significant, essential.这些字的那个 vocabulary level 都会比 important 来得高。If not mistaken, important 是 A1, okay? But for essential and also significant, 他们是 C1, okay? 它的 level is really different, okay? All right. Then, of course, we also include a variety of words used, synonyms, okay? Like what I mentioned, difficulty of words.Whether the word that you use is related to the topic. Okay, for example, 我很喜欢用 pollution 来做例子。When we mention about pollution, 你会想到什么？我们要快马上就可以连接到什么 ？Biodegradable, non-biodegradable, biodiversity, right? And also flora, fauna, right? So all these are what we say related to the topic.如果 flora and fauna 你不会用，你简单的只是用 plants， 你只是用 animals， 你就可以看得出它的 vocabulary 程度有差。Then from there 我们就可以判断说谁可以比较高分。Okay, so that's why we say vocabulary power is really important here. And whether you write the spelling correctly, okay， 我们一直在学嘛，那个。我们一直在学那个 error identification， 其实它也是有在 enhance 你们的 spelling. That means that, for example, accommodation 它应该是 double C double M 还是一个 C 一个 M. Alright, whether you write the spelling the word correctly 都有算在里面，所以一定要 avoid spelling mistake. Okay, should be 平时的时候就要有练习到了。Then sentence structure， 你的句子结构，像我们刚才讲的，你的 first sentence、last sentence 有没有变化，有没有不一样 ？OK，and then 你的 expression，OK，有没有做出不同的表达表现 ？And proverbs and sayings and also idioms these are important, but we do not encourage you to use a lot for this. Proverbs 就是谚语、成语这些名言 quotes, OK， 我们不用太多的。If you have 1, maximum 3 will be sufficient, OK. If more than that will be a bit extra redundant, OK. 就是你用超过3其实也太多了 ，OK。我们不是在考你的 memory， 我们不是在考你的 memorization， 我们在考 whether you can really like 在那边有个点睛的作用 ，OK，to highlight the point that you want to say, OK。So that's why it's very important on how you use the proverbs and sayings correctly, adequately, OK. And next, grammar. Okay, for grammar, let's see. Tenses, whether you use it correctly. Subject-verb agreement, please don't make mistake. Singular, plural, singular noun, singular verb, plural noun, plural verb. Okay, make sure you are aware of all these rules. They are the basic requirement. For preposition, good at, good in, what's the difference? Alright, good for, what's the difference? 每一个它的介词有什么不同 What is the difference in the meaning? You must be very aware of that. So, for example, we always test you like put on, put off, put out. What is the difference? Okay, put on 是穿上嘛 Then put off 我延期 Then put out or the fireman put out the fire. Okay, you see the meaning is really totally different. So when we really use this, you have to make sure you use it correctly. For example, 我们讲到年份、月份或者是日子 okay? Then we usually mention like on the birthday. So on is usually like for 那一天 one day. On 那一个日期 on 21st July, right? Okay, but for in will be more days, longer time. So that's why for months and years, then we have to use in. Okay, so in July, in 1999. Okay, active, passive, please use it correctly. If you want to use passive, please change the past participle correctly. And please match the tenses correctly as well, whether you are using the correct tense. Okay, can you please tell me, for example, for all these 5 types of writing, what tense will be better? Okay, so you must be aware of the idea. When writing all these 5 types of essay, you will have to use simple tenses. Simple tenses means like a simple present, present continuous, or maybe present perfect. Okay, present perfect continuous. So instead of using something about past, okay, because we are discussing about the fact, we're talking about the truth, so we are talking some suggestion. So it's not advisable to use past tense because it's about the future. All right, what action to be taken? Okay, and next, the interesting expression. Okay, like what I have told you. The interesting expression include whether you use the proverbs, whether you use the idioms, right? By hook or by crook is kind of like idioms. Okay, that means that no matter how, regardless of what happened, you see, right? So that's why you can use 1 or 2, maximum 3, not more than that. But phrasal verbs is something that we suggest you to change, to mix around. Okay, some of the ideas, for example, like we say, give up. Okay, so it's something that will be helpful for your expression also. Okay, so depends on what type of essay writing you choose. Okay, so these are the tips on how you are going to score high in language, what you can prepare for that. So what I have shown here, caution is parents of safety, by hook or by crook. Prevention is better than cure. There is no smoke without a fire. Actually, all these are the generally used proverbs and idioms. Okay, so can be used in almost every type of writing. Okay, so you don't have to memorize a lot. You just choose a few which is applicable to all types of writing. Okay, so we try to work smart, study smart. Okay, cannot just work hard. You have limited time already. So we must know how to score, how to help us to score higher.
Pearson Test of English PTE 什么来的哦 ？Pearson Test of English PTE 是全球公认的英语测试，无论你将来想要出国留学还是移民海外 ，PTE 都能够帮你达成目标，实现梦想。PTE 考试完全通过电脑进行，并且由 AI 自动评分，考试时间为2小时，主要评估你的英语口语、写作、阅读和听力能力。你一定会问，市场上有这么多英文考试，那为什么一定要选 PTE 呢？全程电脑考，分数 AI 给。PTE 考试完全通过电脑进行，并且由 AI 自动评分，包括听力、阅读、写作和口语4个部分。这种方式让考试更高效，也可以避免人为的评分误差，这样考生就不用担心考官会误判，更加公平公正了。快速出分拿成绩。PTE 通常在考试后的48小时内提供成绩，最快当天就能够拿到了。比起其他的英语考试 ，PTE 的出分速度非常快哦。时间 flexible。PTE 不像其他英语考试，只要在特定的时间报考。PTE 在马来西亚主要城市吉隆坡、巴达林在野、柔佛巴鲁和槟城设有考点，每周开放6天，只需要提前24小时预约，全球认可。PTE 获得了包括澳大利亚、英国、美国、加拿大等国的众多大学和移民机构的认可，被视为留学和移民英语水平证明的有效工具。无论你想要到任何国家留学，都可以使用 PTE 哦。像现在如果报考这个 PTE， 有什么 offer 还是 discount 哦？现在正在观看拜托了统考的同学，只要附上 promo code 就可以享有高达10%的优惠折扣。截止日期为2025年2月15日。想要了解更多的详情，马上点击以下的链接吧。Pearson Test of English PTE 是全球公认的英语考试，想要到国外留学的同学，马上来报考吧！我是 Dino 学长，陪你一起成长。我们下一支影片见了，拜拜！感谢本集拜托了统考2024的合作伙伴 Pearson Test of English PTE。
All right, okay, yeah, and come to the part that I want to share on the model question, okay, past year question, they tested before. For example, let's see, unity is strength. This is about opinion. What are the ways to encourage our people to stay united as a nation? So they're asking about ways, you see. Like what I told you, almost every year, there is at least one question. They ask about ways, okay? And let's see. Okay, in the same year, 2017, the first question is about ways. The second question is about compare and contrast. Okay, domestic traveling to traveling overseas. And the third type is, as you can see, discuss the causes and effects of staying up late. So when they mention about causes and effects, means that you have to write 6 paragraphs here. Okay, then type 4. Type 4 is about the advantages and disadvantages. So actually advantages and disadvantages also asking 2 questions. So that means that you need to have 6 paragraphs. Okay, actually the words of advantages and disadvantages are quite common. Now actually they also change to pros and cons. They also ask about strengths and weaknesses. They also ask about the boons and bans, right? So you must be aware, because all these are the typical questions they will ask. And what are the vocabulary they will change? You will have to get it ready first. Get it. You have to be aware of that beforehand. so you will know what they are asking about. All right. Then like this year, the question when they ask about the using credit cards, I think this question when we mark for the essay, many of the students, they don't choose this question because almost all students, they don't use credit cards. Yeah. So that year when they come up with this question, all teachers are stunned and also the UEC candidates. So when we get the paper and we don't really see many students, they choose to write this. Okay. And one more challenge is you need to write 6 paragraphs here. Okay. So you see that it takes up your time. It tests your knowledge. So that's why most of the students, they give up this question 4. Okay. Then for question 5, bad eating habits are hard to break. Do you agree? So they're asking, do you agree? Provide reasons to support your views. Okay, so this should be no problem. Either you choose totally agree or you choose totally disagree. All right, okay. So far, anything? Okay, maybe we can go to 2018. All right, for 2018, we often hear of how selfish and materialistic people in our society. Okay, suggest, you see or not? They're asking about the suggestion. Suggestion on community service. Okay, what you can do. Actually, do you see how many questions in this part? Suggest 1 community service. Okay, 2, you and your friends can do to show that you care. And the second question is, why do you choose this activity? And the 4th question is, how will it benefit society? Okay. So when you come across this kind of question, please make sure you answer all the questions they ask. All right. And it's better to put all in the first paragraph, introduction paragraph, thesis statement ideas. Okay. So easier for the examiner to see whether you answer all questions. Then only they go to details about the examples in body paragraph. All right, so that's why we say that thesis statement is really, really essential, okay? It's so important that you all must know how to write properly according to the requirement, or else the whole essay marks will drop. All right, second type is attitude is the most important factor that leads to success in life. Do you agree? Okay, third type, let's see. So this one is also, do you agree? Then type 3, discuss the effects. They only ask 1 question, which is effects. And type 4 is, they asked about compare and contrast 2 ways of learning. Okay. Then next, the last question of 2018 is, what, in your opinion, what are the ways? Okay, they're asking about ways again. So as you can see, almost every year you will see the question of ways, methods, approach. In 2019, online shopping. Okay, online shopping. And 2018, you can see digital age. So every year, the topic of technology, science and technology will be tested too. Okay, so these are the directions that you can prepare more. You understand? And pay attention to what are the topics, what are the hot topics being discussed. So like this, online shopping is the latest trend of shopping. Compare and contrast. All right. The similarities, you can buy the things that you want. All right. You can see a lot of different choices, right? Similarities, but contrast the differences. Physical shop, shop at home, right? So you will see the difference for this. Okay. Suggest ways again. Ways to promote tourism in Malaysia. Okay, tourism is also a hot topic they always like to ask. Then type 3. Should students pursue further studies locally or abroad? Okay, typing error, my typing error. Okay, so study local, 在本地读 or abroad, 去外国. So for here, as you can see, then I am sure many of your school teachers, they have practiced this with you. So what are your views? They're asking about your opinion. So somehow this is like a should question. So you can discuss both. It's a discussion. All right. Then you can also say, I prefer which way. But actually you discuss both different stands. And question 4, social networking is also about online, you see. So becoming more a menace, especially to teenagers. Do you agree? Do you agree question? And type 5, employing foreign workers rather than locals is a better solution to overcome the labor shortage in Malaysia. Discuss. This one is about the employment, 就业. Okay, they are asking something about the work. Okay, so foreign workers 是请外国外劳 or use the local 本地人. Okay, so you must have some knowledge about this, or else it's very hard for you to discuss this issue to the point and score high. All right, okay, next. Okay, come to year 2020, 2021, and 2022. We highlight, you can see my highlight. Okay, courses should discuss. Okay, imagine question we do not really suggest you to answer. 因为 imagine 的很多学生会用错 tenses. They will use the tenses wrongly. Because if you use imagine, what will happen if there were no boundaries between countries? Means that you will have to use the if conditional, impossible, and unlikely tense. Okay, so as you can see, you all cannot change very well or use accurately. So if you come across this kind of question, it's better to give up. Okay, 真的建议不，除非你很有自信可以怎么用，不然的话真的不太建议学生选这个题型。Okay, imagine 大家都是死在tenses 的部分。Okay, so how 也是 asking about ways 方法途径。Okay, 2021. Okay, opinion. A mother's place is in the home. 这个通常关于 about women's 女权。Okay, should work or should stay at home. Okay, 蛮多年没有出了，所以2021年的时候他们出这一题。Okay, opinion. So 你要对女性这个角色很有见解。When you discuss about this, you must show why they should be at home or why they should work. In what way? What are the values they can create? 你要讨论的是他们的价值观。Alright, okay. Then next, traveling can be a rewarding experience. Do you agree? Alright, okay. Traveling 我们已经看过了，这边也是有一题 about traveling, like promote tourism.OK， 然后这一题你看，第二题几乎都是ask about this. 2017那一年有问 ，2019 这一年有问 ，OK， then now， 2021 它几乎每隔2年就会问关于 traveling tourism 的 issue。OK，so next， OK， pull and push factors. What is the meaning of pull and push? 什么是它的那个主要原因 ？OK， 推动它的原因跟引起它发生的原因。Alright, so from here then you can see discuss migration 移民 ，alright, and homeschooling. OK, compare and contrast 就是住家式的一个学校和我们的普通 normal 的 government school 有什么 secondary school 有什么不同 So that's why I ask about compare and contrast. 你要讲它的 similarities 还要讲它的 differences. Okay, for the type 5, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. OK, 我们不是从祖先那边继承我们的地球或大地，我们是从子孙那边借来用的。So why is it important to protect the earth? 为什么保护地球很重要 ？So elaborate， 你看到吗？它又是 ways， 而 ways 方法的题目是每一年都会问的。OK， so 这个会比较好准备，因为它问你方法方式比较好讨论。2022 the importance of the elderly in today's society。通常跟 community service 有关的 question 也会常常看到，就是应该扮演什么角色，然后它会起了什么作用 ，alright？ So elderly in today's society， 长者 ，OK， 乐龄人士在现今社会的重要性，他们扮演什么角色 ？Alright, then you will have to discuss about this。这算是 discuss importance。OK， 然后for point 2。Some of the problems we are facing today, okay? Elaborate, 它这里 explain, okay? 我们所面对的一些问题。Of course, environmental problems. Environmental problem 就刚刚我讲的类似像是 pollution, okay? So 大家面对什么问题 ？Causes, okay? Then, what are the reasons for this? Suggest ways to overcome this issue. Okay, so 有什么方法？他又在问 ways 了 ，okay？But 它有2个 question here. What are the reasons? So 它是 causes 是什么？为什么会有很多的 stray dogs around your neighborhood? OK， 然后你要 suggest way， 你要给我方法，怎么去克服 overcome this issue， 解决这个问题。Alright, then type 4 is there were many changes during the recent movement control order， 就是我们的 MCO。OK, movement control order， 大家还记得吗？Okay, so 这题的话，在2022年，因为是刚好符合当时的那个疫情啦。Okay, so that's why they ask about this. Okay, so the MCO due to the COVID-19 pandemic. What were the main changes and how was the life different before compared to the pandemic period? 你记得，如果他问的方式有一点点 out of 我们讲的那个 keyword， 其实他还是在围绕同样的一个题型在问，只是他的问题的方式 will be different. Okay, so 你记得 you stick to what they are asking and answer to the question. Okay, 照回答。然后 for organization, how do you arrange the paragraph? 你要怎么回答？你要怎么安排你的结构呢？ So 一样的，基本上他讨论解释完，你就是 5 paragraph. 如果他是问2个问题 2 question like causes and effects. Okay, then advantages, disadvantages, pros and cons. Then 那你就要给他6 paragraph， 因为每一个 point 都要给2个 body paragraph. Alright, so diet programs, okay, 饮食 health issue. 等一下我会给你们一个类似的，它会常出的一些题型可以 predict 的 ，okay? So for here, as you can see, 它就是问 Do you agree? 你同意吗？ So 一定要 100% agree or 100% disagree 啊。不然就会写 right out of the topic. OK? Next. OK, 这是一些分析。你们可以看看那个图表，然后你可以看得出 way 是每一年都有，所以我放红色 I put in the red. And for compare and contrast causes and effects, do you agree 也是每一年都有。OK? Effects causes 的部分也是每年都有。Opinion 的部分其实就是 discuss 啦。OK, 都一样的，所以他都是在问 discuss 的部分。Alright, okay, next. Okay, the hot topics for essay writing. The hot topics for essay writing include science and technology, AI. I put a slash because actually there are still many different topics about this. Okay, AI and also like if you discuss AI in details, they can be separated into different categories. For example, they talk about the apps we are using, like from educational field, like from translation, like from documentation, okay, from robotics idea. Okay, so you must have some rough idea on what is this AI already. Okay, because it's really common and hot topic now. It's a trend. It's quite trendy. So that's why you must have more information about this. Okay, I also actually let most of my students practice this kind of question to get them ready to have the ideas. Like when we mention about AI, what is the full spelling of AI? Yeah. So you must be able to give the full spelling in your essay writing. You cannot just say AI Before you use AI, then at least you must be able to show artificial intelligence. Then you put a bracket AI. Then after that, you use AI as to explain. Then it will be fine enough. Okay. So this include a lot. For example, you are able to give example on how to use ChatGPT or not, right? The translator, translation machine, language checking machine, and even the apps that I like to use it a lot to practice grammar with my students, like Kahoot and Quizlet. Okay, they are all AI based. Why do we say AI based? What is the definition of AI actually? So from there, you must know, are you able to define AI? That means that whenever they use the data system, they use some, they save time, they save our time in doing something that is repetitive. They can make the calculation in a very short time. Then there are all the function from AI and also the benefit from AI. All right. Okay, that's why I mentioned about Kahoot and Quizlet, because Kahoot and Quizlet, they provide a lot of convenience for my teaching. Okay, for example, I let students to practice some, because tenses, question, and also grammar rules are always repetitive. What students need to do is just to do some drilling. Okay, whenever we want to do the drilling, then we will just go to Kahoot or Quizlet. Like before exam, I will let students practice the quiz again. Okay, then they can just do it and they can see the result immediately. They can also see the analysis from the AI. How many questions are correct, how many questions are wrong, and which question most students make the mistakes, right? Okay, then I can focus on which part is the confusing part that students face. So then I can focus more on that. All right. So for those students who can score all correct, then I can just skip it because everybody catch it. All right. So that's the benefit of using AI. All right. So science and technology part, almost every year they will have at least one question. Like what we have seen from the past question, online shopping, all these issues are outdated already. Okay. Has been asked before, tested before. So what you need to do is like to prepare more about the futuristic issue. Okay. Like health issue, education issue, and economy issue will be quite common. Okay. For health also, they can link to AI. Depends on how much you know. I'm sure some of the science students, you are aware of what your teacher has mentioned in the class, right? How AI can be linked to our health. Okay, for example, like your iWatch, okay, the smartwatch that you are having now. Actually, why do we make it so common nowadays? Because it can help us to track our health condition, right? For heart attack, heart disease victims, patient, they are able to follow up, okay, to be aware of what is the critical condition they may face. So as we can see, it can be linked to a lot. Okay, so health issues are is also one of the issues they like to ask a lot. Then for education part, I suggest you remember 4 words, which is collaboration, communication, creative thinking, and creativity, and also critical thinking. These 4 words. Okay, then whatever education issue they ask you, you can just slot in 3 points. Okay, to discuss about any 3 of them. Okay, applicable to all the education issue. All right, and the last is about the economy. Economy issue will be just now the sample question, like what you all have seen about employment. Okay, so that will be economy. And also like maybe unemployment, hiring of the foreign workers. All these issues belongs to economy. And also maybe like currency changes, our policies of government. Yeah, so make sure you have some general knowledge about the economy, so you are able to give examples. All right. Okay, so this is your paper 1. Section 1. Paper 1 summary. Okay, for paper 1 summary, as you can see, we focus on these 4 points. The marks allocation. Okay, let's see. Content stand for 10 marks. Language stand for 5 marks. Okay. How many points you have for 10 marks? You need to give 10 to 12 points. You don't just stop at 10 because in case you miss out the main point they want, you will still have 1 point to back up. So suggestion is 11 to 12. Okay, for language stand for 5 marks. Language, how do we judge? Whether you copy or paraphrase. Do you use 1 to 3 connectors, your sentence structure? Okay, actually for summary writing, you don't need to use your own words. We don't suggest you to change word. Even for paraphrase, unless your language level is quite good, or else we suggest you directly copy. Copy will be the safest way, okay, to secure your marks. Then connectors also. Whenever we see you use the connectors, then your marks will be given 1 extra mark. Okay. Then next, remember in your summary, we only write 1 paragraph. And of course, you use 1 to 3 connectors. And you cannot write more than 150 words. Okay. And this is super important. Total words must be written at the end of your writing. You must give how much you write. 148, 150. Okay. How many words must be given? Must be written there. Because when we first get your paper, if you don't have this 150 words written there, we will deduct 1 mark directly. Okay. Because you don't follow the instruction. Okay. So this is really important. Please pay attention. Indispensable. Must have this 150 words. All right. Okay. Next. Okay. We come to the paper 2. I would like to highlight for this. Paper 2, we have two sections. One section is reading part. Reading part stands for 30 marks. This reading part for 2024, you will have a new part. In the past, they call it critical reading, but now they change it to fill the gap with correct sentence. Okay. I'm sure your school teacher has done some practice with you and they even put it in the exam already. And I'm sure you have experience about this in your SPM. They are similar. Okay. So the new change for 2024 in UEC will be this. Just pay attention to this. That's why I put it in red color. Okay. Then for part 2, vocabulary. Okay, the whole passage they ask you to read, and they want you to choose the A, B, C, D, which one match the meaning in the sentence best. Okay, so you can choose that. And the part 3 for reading is the comprehension. For vocabulary part, they actually have around 800 words for the passage. But for comprehension, they set 1,200 to 1,500 words. Okay, because when we set the question, they actually will request us to follow the word limitation. OK， 就是字数上它会有限制。我们出题老师他会跟我们要求说 ，OK， 在 vocabulary part 你不可以超过800个字，因为要比较短篇。然后 for part 3 comprehension 是测你的理解力，所以在这部分的话，他们就要求要1200个字到1500个字左右。OK，all right. So next, paper 2 section B is your grammar. This grammar stands for actually 20 marks. Okay. First part is the error identification. Then the second part is the word formation. Okay. Error identification is also about ABCD multiple choice question, MCQ. And for word formation will be fill in the blank. So 你们在填答案的时候，you pay attention to this. Because 在你的 error identification 是选择题，所以填的是那个 O 卡。But for word formation， 因为是写答案，你要把那个单字写出来，所以它是另一张 answer sheet。OK， 是好像是单线，类似像单线这样的。OK，all right，just be careful。 that's the end of my sharing. Okay, see whether you all have any question to ask. Hopefully my sharing helped you all.
感谢本集拜托了统考2024的合作伙伴 Pearson Test of English PTE。那同学，如果你真的有把影片看到这里，那么 Dino 学长要跟你说一声恭喜你，那表示呢，你离统考的好成绩越来越靠近啦。那这边呢，有一份关于这一支影片的笔记要免费送给你。那听好啦，你现在呢，赶快去到未成年HighSchool.my 或者是 Dino 学长的 IG 账号，那笔记呢，我们就把它藏在 link at bio 那一边哦。嘘，这个呢，我们只是送给有把这一支影片看完的你 ，OK？Keep promise 啊，记得点赞 follow， 还有打开小铃铛，我们下一支影片见啦，拜拜。
大家好，我们是 Five 游戏，我们是专属于读中生的学习平台。统考剩下10周，你真的准备好了吗？Five 游戏是创立于2022年3月份，我们是一个专门为读中生打造资源整合的学习平台。到目前为止，我们帮助了超过5000位的学生。我们总共有4大核心服务，分别为读中社群平台、统考备考笔记、协办系列公开课与各校资源整理，以及补习与课业辅导。每周我们会在 IG 和 Facebook 分享学科知识、升学资讯以及读中时事话题讨论。那我们也有在我们的官网上售卖初高中的学科笔记。如果有需要的学生，欢迎你们来选购。同时，我们也有在收集各校的考卷，欢迎大家一起来整理哦。那如果想要了解更多资讯，欢迎你们扫码追踪我们的平台。
好的，谢谢我们的 Janice 老师耶。那在来临的这个9月9号，也是我们的拜托了统考的第1场嘛。然后其实也是由我们的 Janice 老师跟大家分享这个统考的部分啊。这个呢，就是我们叫做 Q&A 直播论坛之夜。我们就晚上呢就有很多的同学啦会来这边呢，现场可以参与我们的这个节目录制哦。所以呢，如果你有兴趣的话，还没有报名我们的拜托了统考2024，赶快点击链接报名。不过老师在那一个 Q&A 的时候，你会跟大家unboxing 什么样的内容？
我觉得在那个部分的话，可能学生可以多准备说问我要怎么样在写作的部分啊，或者是我在理解的部分啊，常常面对什么问题，然后一直抓不到答案，或者没有办法把很好的那个意见表达出来。可能到时候我们可以做一些简单的分享
OK，
怎么样在那个技巧上面去做练习。
OK， 就是可以让大家怎样在短的时间内掌握一些技巧啊。
对
OK， 最后1个月冲刺了这些 skill 全部，也要谢谢 Janice 老师毫无保留的把它分享给你知道哦。OK， 好，所以呢9月9号我们的拜托了统考2024，那个时候见啦，各位赶快报名，我们下次见。还是要学一些 YouTube 的那些 ending 啦，记得打开小铃铛，还有关注我们哦，耶！